Hey everyone, this is Ashley for FD 1111 Ministries. I am coming on to talk about this 8/8 portal happening on August 8th. And this 8, so first let's discover what the number 8 really represents. The number 8 represents as above, so below, as within, so without, the rebirth. This is almost like the butterfly effect. As the butterfly flaps its wings, it changes the existence and it ripples out. So with us, the collective consciousness, as we think, we change the atmosphere, we change the frequency. So with building the Diamond Dynasty, the Diamond Dynasty is that which is within you, that is being rebirthed. This is the point in time where we can really change and pivot things in our lives. But it's not just about us, it's about the collective consciousness. So another thing too about with this 888, building the Diamond Dynasty, the star Sirius is the closest to the earth. I mentioned this on the July 4th, that with that whole celebration about Independence Day and all of that stuff like that, that's a masculine holiday. And how that masculine energy was trying to overshadow Sirius. And Sirius is the feminine awakening, the feminine star that's shining through to change the collective consciousness. So I had to move because the wind started to pick up, but I was not going to let this message slip by. The collective. And with this hypothetical pyramid, much like the pyramid of Giza, that you have the base and then it goes all the way up to the top. You know how a pyramid is shaped. Now with the hierarchy of the collective body, at the base you have those that are of a frequency closely related to the human populace. And then at the top, as you go up, that the consciousness and the frequency raises. So with that being said, I'm going to make a reference to one of the magi, one of the ascended masters, Moses. Now Moses, when he would go on the Mount Sinai, that he would commune with light bodies, he would commune with the divine, the all. And when he would come down, that his countenance would glow so profusely that he had to put a veil over his face, because when those that will look upon his glory, they could just perish because they couldn't handle that frequency. So I say that to say this. I'm going to go into how, real quick, I'm going to touch on how the way the hierarchy of the collective works. So Moses, he would take that information that was given to him and he would break it down, give it to his high priest Aaron, and Aaron would therefore give it to the collective. Now, with the 12 and 12, this is making reference to the video I just did about the 144 in the history of high priestesses and high priests. Now, he would give that information to the collective, and according to their frequency, that they would teach it to others. Now fast forward it to like a modern day time. With the 5 tiers of the collective body, at the base of the collective, you have those that resonate and they permeate at the frequency closely related to the human populace. As you move up, the frequency becomes higher. So those are the ascended masters, and I really use that word ascended master like very lightly. Those are the ascended individuals that can commune with light bodies, commune with spirits. They interdimensional, they can travel. I mean, they can do all kinds of things, pretty much. I'm gonna put it like that. And when they do this, they receive different downloads and different light codes that they therefore pass to the next peer on the hypothetical pyramid. They therefore break it down, that will break it down so that the next peer can handle that information, handle that frequency, and it will keep going until it gets to the base. And once it gets to the base, then that's when that information is dispersed amongst the human collective. Now, with that being said, I'm going to use this as an example of how you can see something like meditation, or talking about light bodies and angels. Most people didn't know about that. And so the human populace would be likened to the Gentiles. They didn't know anything really about that until like individuals like Moses or Jacob, or different individuals that will commune directly with like light bodies would share that information that they learned with other individuals. Now it's sort of kind of normal to hear about angels and stuff like that, but before it was not very likely to hear about that. That was like, what are you talking about kind of thing. But now it's pretty common. Now what's happening with the Diamond Dynasty is that when that feminine energy that's coming through, that there's new downloads, there's new information that's coming through. And those that are at the top of this hypothetical pyramid, that they're receiving that information so they can digest it and then make it more understandable for the next tier, and so on and so forth. So think of this as a baby. When a baby is first born, it can only handle milk. But as it grows, therefore you are able to give it more solid food. You wouldn't give a steak to a newborn baby. It's the same thing with this hierarchy, this hypothetical hierarchy of the collective. Most people are not ready for the steak. You got to give them the milk, then you got to give them the vegetables, the steamed vegetables, then the hard vegetables, then keep going on like that until after it becomes so broken down that they can therefore handle more information the next stage. So what's going on with this grand awakening with the whole world altogether is that there's new information that's coming through these portals of activity, especially through this 888, the Lion's Gate, where I was saying that it's a rebirth, it's a renewal. As above, Sirius, so below in the earth, the frequencies from the astros coming into the earth, so within, the frequency within those ascended individuals, therefore will be without. So therefore it will be processed and made to a certain vibration for those lower level, or the lower levels of this hypothetical pyramid. Now when I say the pyramid, it doesn't mean that anybody is more or less than anybody else. So that's why I sort of paused when I said ascended masters, because no one is anybody's master. They're their own master. And you're here to master yourself. That's another thing about with this feminine energy. And they may say that the feminine is becoming rebellious, all of that. We were suppressed. The feminine energy within everyone was suppressed. And it was under this really harsh Martian type of energy, this masculine energy, where the masculine energy was out of whack too. So with this whole feminine rebirth, this feminine energy that's coming through, it's going to seem like a lot of feminines are in like being rebellious, maybe like sometimes even like overly aggressive at times, because when the scale has been tipped so far to one side, when you put another weight on the other side, it's going to go like slightly over to that side until after it balances out. That's why you see like a lot of feminines, and even with a lot of more melanated individuals, that it seems like, oh, they're being so overly aggressive. They have to be in order for it to tip the scales one way, so therefore it can be balanced out. So you're going to see a lot more of that with feminine, like actual people that identify as feminine, like as a woman, and those that don't identify as anything. And then you're going to see those that are more melanated. They're going to be seeming to be more aggressive in the pushing forward towards true equality. Because if no one is feel threatened by anybody else, why do they feel like they have to control something? If you understand what I'm saying. If you really love a person, you're not going to try to control them, because there's nothing to fear. If they go off somewhere, you still can feel their love. Love is invisible, and it's so on and so forth. Now, continuing on with this Diamond Dynasty. Now, going back to what I was saying about as above, so below, and the depths of you, almost like in the depths of the earth, that this pressure, this coal, this one, it seems like it was dirt at first, but as the pressure built on it, that it grew and it became more and more precious, like a diamond. And when it was pulled out from within you, it's like it still looked icky almost, until after you continue to polish it softly, gently polished it, removed all of the dirt, all of the ash, all of the rubble, and it revealed something miraculous. It revealed something beautiful and precious, something that could only been prepared in the belly. Okay? And within, making like into that diamond that is within, so it's without. So those things, those buried gifts, those spiritual gifts, those downloads, they downloaded. You held on to them. You didn't know what to do with them. You're like, oh my gosh, I feel something changing within me. But however, I don't see the evidence of it. But now it's going to start to come out. This reminds me of a couple different divine feminines in the biblical text where they were barren, but through miraculous events that they were able to produce a child. So for some, this may be physical, literal, but for others, this is more symbolic. This is more saying like, you thought that you didn't have any gifts, or you thought that, oh, my hope is gone, or I'm no use to anyone, or I'm no use to the collective, or I don't have no spiritual gifts, or I wish I could do that, or I wish I could be acknowledged like that. Whatever the case may be, you had to let that diamond sit inside of you, that little piece of coal sit inside of you, in order for it to build under that pressure to become a diamond. And through becoming your diamond, that you help somebody else become their diamond. And together we become the diamond dynasty. And with that dynasty, that is a legacy. So as the frequency changes within the 3D experience among the collective, that will spill over into the humanity, it will raise the frequency of the entire earth. And the earth is a whole diamond within itself. But everyone is almost, being that we all are collected, all of us are connected, that you depend on me, I depend on you. If I don't do what I'm supposed to do, and I got to repeat a karmic cycle, because it's a little different for light workers, you have to do something. Regardless if you got to keep repeating that karmic cycle over and over and over, you got to do it. Now the difference with with humans, what they would call in the biblical text Gentiles, is that they have the choice. Choose you this day who you will serve. They have a choice, okay? But with us, we don't have a choice. We have to keep repeating that karmic cycle over and over and over. Now, with that being said, is that we are relying on each other. My story, my pain, my joy will bring somebody else victory. Just the same way how those that have encouraged me to become more authentically me, their story touched me, their pain touched me, their joy touched me. So we are all dependent on one another. This is from my deck, and this is number 555, and it says all in God's divine timing. So this change, this major change is here. It is, okay, like I was saying with that diamond inside of you, that piece of coal, you already have the diamond inside of you. It just needs more pressure. And it's starting to come up and come up and come up and come up even more. And that's what the divine is saying. Now I'm going to shuffle and make another point. And oh gosh, it looks like a storm was coming. And it said it was no weather coming. Well, you got to be prepared. So I'm going to pull this card real quick before it rains on my head. So we do have this. All right, so it's number 10 and the Wheel of Fortune. Divine change, once again, it's coming through. So think about that, the alignments, how Sirius has to be aligned perfectly in order for the 8-8 portal, right when the sun is in the sign of Leo, which is the lion. And with this lion, this is talking about the Lion of Judah. And Judah was the tribe for praise. So this is talking about activating that attitude of gratitude. You know something belongs to you, you're going to say thank you. Like when you put that order into the waiter and the waiter goes to go get your food, you be like, oh, thank you. And you go ahead and thank them because you know your food is coming. And that's what the divine is saying right now. Go ahead and get your attitude of gratitude. Go ahead and get your praises in because it's coming. And then we have the Queen of Swords. The mental state. The mental state needs to be perfected. But this is also talking about being on point one. Being fully aware and activated. You see how her sword is upright? And then she's summoning. So this is like a person that is in divine authority. They are in self-mastery. They know their stuff. They're receiving those downloads. Because the sword is about the mind. It's also about the tongue too. So making sure that you watch what you say out your mouth. I have another video coming for the words what not to use when you are really in divine authority. Oh gosh, I'm gonna have to run. And being on point 1, you see her crown, her halo, her crown. Her crown is perfectly placed and is being purified. All right, so I'm going to stop right there because I do not want to get caught in the rain. It just came out of nowhere, just like that that storm that came here. Oh my gosh, let me hurry up. So anyways, you guys, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment down below, and remember, the Diamond Dynasty. All right, peace.